So hello children, today we are going to see civics lesson 1, the legislature, union and states. So under this parliament is also called as Sansad in Hindi. So what is the work of parliament? So parliament is where the people are involved in decision making and governing. So parliament is nothing but the congregation of elected people. Those people are elected by the people. And what is the main duty of the parliament? The main duty of the parliament is to make law and exercise the political authority on behalf of the people. Next comes the functions of the government. The government has functions on the three organs: legislature, executive, judiciary. So legislature are the organs which are law making. Executives are those which execute these laws. Judiciary is where they make sure that these laws are carried out properly. And next we are going to see how are the responsibilities being divided between the central and the state government. The first one is union list. This union list are the laws where it's made by the parliament. So what laws are made by the parliament? They are making laws for the whole country like defense, finance, foreign affairs, etc. State list. So state lists are the laws which are made by the state legislative assembly. Okay, it depends upon the different states. Example, land reforms, agriculture, irrigation, sanitation, healthcare, everything will be done by the state legislature. The concurrent list. The concurrent list is where the laws can be made both by the parliament and the state legislative assembly. This can be the examples of education, laws of the industries, electricity, labor, etc. And when we come to the concurrent list, we would have heard about the new educational policy which is going on in India right now. So now let's see about the union legislature. Union legislature is also called as parliament. Yes, that's what parliament. Parliament has two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is called as lower house and Rajya Sabha is called as upper house. Now let's see about the Lok Sabha and its composition. So Lok Sabha, it is the members who are elected by the people directly. So each state they have fixed number of seats depending upon their population, that is called as constituencies. And each and every member who represents Lok Sabha is called as member of parliament. In short, we call them as MP. There are maximum that there can be 552 members in Lok Sabha. Among that 530 are from states, 20 are from union territories. If necessary, President can appoint 2 Anglo-Indians if he finds that there is some inadequacy in the house. And next comes Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is also called as upper house. So these are the members who represent the state. They are the council of the state and they are the permanent body which president cannot dissolve it. Here maximum members are 250. Among that 238 members are from state and union territory. They will be nominating the members. Apart from 238, the 12 remaining members can be nominated by the president. It can be the persons who are special in specific fields like science, education, sports, etc. And now let's see the eligibility of both the houses. If you see the eligibility of both the houses consist of the basic eligibility except the age. So first one, Indian citizen. A person of a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha should be an Indian citizen, and he should be a registered voter, and he should not have been proclaimed offender, and he should possess the basic qualification asked by the parliament. And coming to the age criteria, the Lok Sabha members should have completed minimum of 25 years and the Rajya Sabha members should have been completed minimum of 30 years. Next comes the tenure. The tenure of the Lok Sabha is the They'll be elected for the period of 5 years. In this 5 years, if a president finds that something is wrong or the ruling party loses its majority, then the president can dissolve the house and they can open for the new election. And even in times of emergency, if something is there, the period can be extended from 5 years to 6 years. This emergency period has happened in the year 1975. And tenure period for Rajya Sabha, it is a term for 6 years. Here, 1/3 of the member will be retired and the next person will be taking place. And this is a routine thing from among the Rajya Sabha members. And this is a house which cannot be dissolved by the president. So we know that Rajya Sabha MPs they would not be elected through the election, right? They are just elected by the state or union territory. But here Lok Sabha, the lower house, it will be the members will be elected directly by the people through the secret ballot. So here this secret ballot is a place where only the person who votes will be knowing that whom he or she is voting. So who can vote? A person who has completed 18 years can vote. And in India, election takes place every 5 years. Now coming to the presiding officer. So in Lok Sabha, the speaker is the officer of the Lok Sabha. So he will be usually from the ruling party. All the members will take, once the party has been set up, all the members will take oath in the presence of the speaker. And the speaker will be supervising the meetings in the impartial manner. He should not, though he belongs to the ruling party, you should not see any partiality while conducting the meetings. Rajya Sabha, presiding officer Rajya Sabha, vice president of ex officio chairman is the member of Rajya Sabha. So who? See, he is being elected by the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. If this vice president is absent, then who will be presiding the meetings? It will be presided by the deputy chairman. The deputy chairman will be a person who has been chosen by the members of Rajya Sabha. And if there is actually a Rajya Sabha person, that vice president never has any voting power, but when there is any tie in the meetings or in any decision makings, he can vote. Who? Yes, the vice president, the official chairman can vote. The next video we will be seeing about the bill, etc.